Now, another part of the article says that perpetrators see a boy or a girl as a projected representation of themselves. They find themselves comfortable, specifically sexually, in the company of children instead of adults. Now, this is not legal and it is not acceptable, but I don't think these are the kind of people that probably take it very seriously. There have been psychological observations all the way back in 1994. Researchers researched and reviewed 352 medical charts representing children seen in emergency rooms or child abuse clinics near Denver, Colorado. From July 1st, 1991 to June 30th, 1992, the researchers found that the perpetrator was a gay or lesbian adult in fewer than 1% of cases, only 2 out of 269, in which the adult groomer could be identified. Thankfully, most Americans have heard this message loud and clear. In 1999, random digit dialing phone survey, the belief that most gay men are likely to harm or abuse a child was only endorsed by 19% of heterosexual men and 10% of heterosexual women. Now, what these groups, not the groups doing the tests, the statistics, and the scientific reasoning, we're talking now about the groups of people that want to push the agenda that heterosexual people are decent, moral, uplifting people, and that homosexuals are deviant, sodomites, or predators and groomers, is completely against scientific and psychological and legal statistics. 93.6% of anyone arrested for harming a child, 93.6% are men. Heterosexual is 53% of the time, and 47% is a non-heterosexual. That does not mean that the 47% are gay people. It's just people that don't identify as traditionally heterosexual. So at least now we're moving into a time period where only 1 out of 5 people believe that a homosexual person is a predator, which I think is very good. I hope by the time of my death it's less than 5%. But it's going to take a long time and a lot of generations to die off before we get beyond the moral or morality police that there used to be back in the 50s and 60s. There is no data that proves that non-heterosexual people are more likely to harm any children. And if someone from the non-hetero community were to harm someone, it has nothing to do with their orientation. It has to do with their lack of integrity and their lack of respect for the law, not because they fit into a specific group. But the majority of people who harm women and children are heterosexual men that are usually married with their own family. And pedophilia and homosexuality don't mix. They're like apple and oranges. Just because you're in a certain group doesn't make you any more likely to harm somebody. It's a choice. And adoption back in the day, it was very hard in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s for non-heterosexual people to get approved for adoption because of stereotypes and negative discriminatory stereotypes. And this is why education is so important. Luckily, I didn't grow up in a family that believes that heterosexual people won't harm children, because I've known a lot of people from CPS, not because they came to my house, but just because of people at my church. The reason why religious people or conservative people who may or may not be religious, the reason why they want to villainize people who don't fit into the heteronormative, sterile version of adult life is because of the following. They want to acknowledge that homosexual behavior threatens the foundation of Western civilization, the nuclear family. Though many in the homosexual community and much of the media may scoff at the accusation, because certain conservative groups want to not support the homosexual agenda in schools, believe that there are efforts by non-heterosexual people that try to target children both for their own sexual deviation, which constitute an unmistakable attack on the family unit. So these people create or even diehard believe that homosexual people are perverts because they believe they're attacking the sanctity of family. The problem is they fail to realize there are different types of family. Like there's different colors in a Crayola box. One type of family is not more